Hola everybody, how are you? Welcome to Blender Today live. Blender Today this week, we don't have really much to talk about because we are in the tracker curfew. This is like a week, 2 weeks time where developers only focus on bug fixing, which is amazing because we've seen like yesterday alone, though, in 24 hours there were like 30 bug fixes, like actual fixes, not cleanups or like marked as a known issue or design issue or whatever. There is actual fixes going on, and that's going on for 1 week, and we still have one more week to go. But in a way, in a great way, it's amazing. But on the other hand, this is not really giving me much to talk about here. So I thought about changing a setting on YouTube that makes it where there is almost no latency between the what you say in the chat and what I listen, what I hear. Usually there is like a 20-second delay. I changed the setting so now I can read you immediately. So everything that you're saying, it's that you're saying, I'm gonna actually be reading it live. And also Hangouts. I disabled the listing, the saving of these videos just so we can hang out a bit more, because if every episode is special, then none of it is special. So today we could be special. So Krita is good. Why are people talking about Krita? Nice. What is my favorite bug of all time? Interesting. Bug of all time, favorite bug. The things that you believe they are bugs, but actually they are features. That happens. So also a little bit to talk about what's the community doing these days. What are you excited about? For example, I am excited about a tutorial that was uploaded today, that was shared today by Sivren in this channel. So you've probably seen it already, but if you haven't and you want to get into Python, or you already write Python and you have all the experience in the world, give it a watch to this video as well. You can find it here on Blender.today, the community. So that way we can it's gonna be pretty great. Get your live reactions when the I'm reading the chat, by the way. Here you are right here next to me, and while I'm browsing the web. So check out the Roast My add-on video. And also another thing that is exciting to me is this thread by the Ubisoft people, where they talk about the development they're working on regarding the VR and development itself that they are working on. We already talked about, we mentioned it last week when we talked about the Summer of Code project, which involves improving the controller, like the VR in Blender, but more towards input devices. Remember that in Blender 2.83 we can inspect the scene, we can look around and look around, but we can inspect the scene, but we can't really handle things. That's what they are working on. So this is very exciting that a company is actually investing, and he says here, says we have a small R&D team, 3 developers currently dedicated to VR pre-visualization tools with a little bit time budget for the Blender exploration. We are not full-time on this yet, but still that's super exciting. So that is very nice. And look around. Yeah, we can look around, we can walk around, because it supports positional tracking as well in VR. So yeah. Pablo, is the team going to work on on Baker in Blender? Baking? What is baking when you have the new Unreal Engine? No baking, just full on real time. Have you seen this? You've probably seen it. It has 9 million views since yesterday. Is the Unreal 5 demo, which is just crazy. And of course, again, no baking, of course we need baking tools, but the demo by Unreal, the new Unreal Engine, is just crazy. All of that is geometry, everything there. I guess they have some bob mapping as well, but everything that you see here is actual geometry. It's no displacement. So like unlimited polygon budget and lighting, all of the light here is just bounced. Like just light that bounce, that you don't have to bake it or fake it or anything. All of that is proprietary software too. Well, the engine is open source. Here you can see all this noise that the YouTube resolution compression is gonna love. It's just geometry. It's just actual triangles. this actually when you browse when you see the Unreal Engine, that you see that it's open source. When you try to download it, you get what you get is you get the actual open source. Here I have to log in, but it basically on the features, I think it's in the features page somewhere here, they show that you can actually get the code, which is exciting. But yeah, the you were a kind of Russian politician. No, sorry, the baking. I was joking. Of course, baking needs to be improved in Blender. There is currently nobody working on that, unfortunately. And it's a question that pops up every week. By the way, if you are watching this for the first time, this is nothing like every episode. I might not even save this video. It's just we're chatting. So yeah, there is a better video quality on the Unreal Vimeo page. Yeah, but this is not too bad either. It's 1440p, and actually I wanted to see them breaking things a bit more, like, because if those are polygons, then maybe we can actually just blow up everything. And the lie says there is a patch about baking today. You see, this is why you should have been here, Dalai. The previous name is king for the selected to active. Baking ray distance do not work. Okay, this is a fix regarding baking, and it's by Sebastian Parborg. Interesting. Sebastian has been working on many different things lately, from animation stuff to baking now to cloth physics and stuff. We should get him on the show one of these days just to see what he is doing. So, talking on all kind of places. Hey, Blender guy, who is the Blender guy? Show PS4 reveal graphics just to image how much better looks like a few years later. Is there such a thing like PS4 reveal announcement? Yeah, but like graphics. I want to see graphics demo. Like here 7 years ago. Let's see how good it was 7 years ago. Show me the goods. Okay, so what was the good stuff? It was SSS, I guess, and it is just the one person, and here we have like the boom. But this is also a demo for, not every PlayStation 5 game is gonna look like this. It is a demo for a game engine for Unreal using PlayStation 5 stuff. But the amount of detail, though, you can still tell that it's that's a game engine. Of course, you can still see some things. If you look around, you're gonna see that there's less detail in some areas, of course. But it's not meant to replace like a movie. You still want to render things, and even this, if you render this, it will take forever. Like putting all of this in memory. I don't know how long does it take to actually load the scene a scene like this. Is it procedural? I think everything that you see here should be made procedurally, because otherwise there's no way you could like fit all of this into memory, or like read it from the disk. How fast it's going to be? It's crazy fast. It loads super fast. Yeah, but how fast is fast? People always want faster. So let us go through the comments. Hello, Ray. I hope you're also having a great day. We're all the Blender guy. Yeah, we are all the Blender guy. Can you imagine the file sizes of games? Well, actually, triangles shouldn't make games too heavy, because it's like geometry is fairly good to be for compressing. Like you can compress, I guess, geometry very good, I think, without knowing. This is a new segment I call in the show that is like talking without knowing, where I talk about things that I don't know. AK textures, though. All textures are AK. I'm not sure about that. Why would you? Well, I guess you need, but no, why AK? The fact that the game is AK doesn't mean that the textures are AK, because an AK, like this whole frame is 8K. So if you have a texture that you zoom in and you see it completely here, then that it's 8K. It needs to be 8K. At least that's what I think. Also for like when you're making a short film and you think that every texture has to be 4K or whatever, It only has to be 4K if you are actually gonna show that part of the like of the character or the environment. A character face, for example, needs to be 4K because usually the way you unwrap the UVs, you need to have faces. Like if you zoom in the nose, then if you're gonna have a close up to the nose, then the texture has to be a bit more than 4K because then you're gonna see just the one part. So that makes sense. The game is 1440p, 30 FPS. 30 only? We need a bit more than that. That's the thing. This is how's this gonna play in VR? I guess you can, unless this can play like a 120 or more, then it's maybe not gonna be ideal for VR. But this, the unveil of the that's crazy. That's crazy. How show off is this? It's a great thing though, because it means that our artists are gonna be on more on demand. Like this kind of art is gonna be more on demand, right? So you're gonna need more people to make a one game, right? Or unless you use scanning, but still you can't scan anything. No, these things don't exist. This is what UDIMs are for. Yes and no. I think UDIMs also is about editing and seeing them all at once. That makes it easy because you can paint across UVs, and that's what makes it super special. Then this is just a show off. Come on, you could have shown what is real and what's not. Apparently all of this is real up to this point. Then we don't know, but with all the show off, you can even see here how good the depth of field is. That's crazy. AMD and Nvidia people send you new GPUs already? No, not yet. Look, motion blur. Hi Pablo, when Eevee motion blur is gonna be ready? It's work in progress. There is 2 weeks of curfew of bug fixings right now, so we're not gonna hear any news from that regarding that yet. But it's promising, and it maybe, let's hope 2.9 series, of course. 2.90, not sure yet. Clement just committed a refactor to the material stuff. I need to ask him what is he doing. Like Eevee material handling is being refactored. Dalai, if you're in the chat and you know what is it about, please let me know. But yes, we miss you, Paolo. We miss you, Joshua, as well. Thank you, everybody. So, is it fair to look at a game demo frame by frame? No, it's not, because then you can see the things that are done in order to speed up things, right? You don't you can tell the edges, and this is not fair to. I guess the better you do it, the more. Oh, there you can actually tell a little bit the dark parts. The better you make it, the more you're gonna get people to look and say like, hey, it's not realistic enough, you know. Yeah, here you can see in the difference in brightness, you get to see a little bit. Come on, it's not fair. This is for the speed that you're seeing. This is completely fine. And even in a film, you wouldn't even matter. Like sometimes if you see this on a movie, then you're gonna call them out, and that's not fair. And I say it because recently I've been trying to upload some of my work as an artist in my ArtStation, and I made an ArtStation finally, so maybe that makes me an artist suddenly, and on Instagram. And I've been looking at some frames, some stills frames that from Caminandes, and you can tell some issues with motion blur. But back then we didn't have a lot of motion blur, right? We did have, but it was far from the best. Still we have some issues, but like for example here, let's see if I have it here. So yeah, this was time ago, and I remember having looking at this, and then it's just like, no, please don't do that. Don't. Have you seen the video of the guys from Linus Tech Tips? Linus Tech Tips. They've been staring at at Caminandes, frame by frame, for looking at the NVIDIA Shield upscaling, which is pretty great. But the thing is, this film is in Full HD. We render it in Full HD, and then bam, they just look at the how the upscaling worked, and I was like, no, don't look at the hair, don't look at. All right. Oh, we got some spam. What is the spam about? Is what are the confirmed features for 2.90? The confirmed features are confirmed, as in like they are going to be there. There is particle nodes stuff, more volume, more volume improvements for like the things that we've seen in 2.83, but in 2.9. Don't feed the trolls. Okay, sorry. All right, I'm not gonna. It's nice to. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna not gonna try to be nice. Pablo, you made an art station. I cannot find it. It's a art station / my name, I think. And I don't have much stuff so far. I only have the last 3 projects that I worked on. I tried to go from the latest one spring to the other ones. There is also another project that I can't show yet because it hasn't been published, but it's pretty exciting. But of course, I shared only the ones that I worked on, the ones that I did the lighting for, and some of them are super fun. Super nice to go back and see it. But yeah, feel free to hang out there. It's cool that LTT uses Blender all the time. Yeah, it uses LTT. LTT uses Blender for some benchmarking, among other types of benchmarks. So it's good that Blender is part of those. Hey, people here start to follow. Hey, nice. Thank you for the following. I'll try to upload more stuff there. What's the status of Coffee Run? Well, the Coffee Run team is working on it's just wrapping up now. I think all the frames are rendered. It just needs to like make it into a movie and release it. They're working, I think, if you follow the guys on Instagram or on here, I saw this one recently about the title of like the poster of the film happening finally. So that's exciting. So what else? Oh, we were looking at this thing. It's amazing. When is this gonna be in the rest of the industry is gonna catch up with this? I guess yes, but it's gonna take a while because it is only available in 2021, by the way. So it's gonna be a bit more far from this. So how people are working on that? How people are working? They are working remote now. Some of the team is back at the studio, but with all the measures taken. But no, not everybody, of course. I'm not back at the studio. Andy think it's not back at the studio. Many of us are still working from home because we think just in case, just a precaution. If everybody goes back to work at the same time, then it's not things can happen, right? So Keymesh, I see Keymesh being a thing in the chat. Keymesh is this. Here we're gonna see a demo made by Daniel Martinez Lara from the Grease Pencil team. Is now also he tagged along with Pablo Dobarro to make a proof of concept about having a way to change mesh data, like a mesh data block per frame. So you can key in this frame, use this mesh data block, and this other frame change another data block. It's a work in progress. It's a proof of concept. It's nothing that is gonna happen anytime soon. So fortunately, yeah, don't get hopes too high yet. It's a very promising project, but it's a proof of concept. There are many things that could go wrong. There's memory issues that could go wrong. There is what do you do? Like if every frame you have a different mesh, but you have the same modifiers, it's also hard to handle. The mesh has everything in terms of materials, particle systems, or how do you do that? How do you keep a particle system, or like vertex groups, or weight painting, or anything that is mesh data, edge loops, and edge data, everything, everything. So it's tricky, and it's an experiment. I think it could be a completely different workflow that you have to keep. I guess when you make a new one, a new face data block, it keeps, because somehow it stores the color data. That is interesting. Can you export to Alembic? You can export to Alembic anything, pretty much anything nowadays, even metables. Bye bye Retopo artists. What is that? Why? No bye to Retopo artists. There's still a lot of work for them to do. Have you seen VFX artists react videos? They show some Blender there once in a while. No, I haven't. Or is it the Corridor guys? Yes, I know the Corridor guys. I haven't seen the VFX artists react videos. Not a big fan of the react videos, but I've seen their other work where they when they use Blender as part of their pipeline, which is super exciting. No Q&A today. Can't find the topic. No, I think this could be the Q&A. I don't know if anybody made the topic so far. No, but that's okay. Let's shut here. I'm literally staring at the chat here. I have it next to this window right now. So Peter from Corridor using Blender exclusively. Yeah, would be nice to have an interview to talk about, is Blender the right tool for them? Why are they even using it? Is there any possibility for layers in Vertex Paint in Grease Pencil? Yeah, Vertex Paint / painting in Blender needs layer, so that's very specific to only for Grease Pencil. I think we need it for everything. I think we really need to be to have this system working for pretty much everything in painting related tools in Blender. I think that would be the way to go. For example, what are you most excited about? I want to ask you, like, instead of asking me, I'm also going to ask you, what are you most excited about? What would you like to see in a point release change in Blender? Like, but okay, no, the asset manager, yes. So many other big topics. Interaction mode, yes. But something that is achievable, right? We have 3 months. For example, we could improve the key map, the Blender key map, a little bit more. There are areas of the key map that I think we tried to stick from Blender 2.7 that maybe is not, they don't work as good as we expected. For example, how many of you, I'm reading the chat by the way, and this is more live than ever because I lower the latency. So what do you use the keys, the hotkeys, the 1 2 3 4 5 for changing collections? I find them that I press them more by mistake than anything else, and it's a pity because you lose a lot of the visibility stuff that you change. For example, for people that don't know, if you have many collections, top level collections, you can press 1 2 3 4 5 to change the visibility. I always do a mistake, always. And it's a bit of a love-hate situation. When I use it, it's like, oh, look at that, I can switch 1 and 2, it's nice. But that's when I have a cube. When I have a more heavy scene, let's see if I have a more heavy scene here. Let's open a shot from the production shot of the H327. So for example, here, if I press 1 2 1 2, I lost the visibility, and now I have to undo. Undo now is faster, but I lost the visibility changes that I had, like some of the collections were on and off. So 1 2 3 in edit mode. Okay, yes, they are annoying. Never use them. I use. Okay, so there is one person here that uses it. I don't know, but I don't use. I know, but I don't use. I still emulate numpad. Okay, emulate numpad is still important, yes. But I think the emulate numpad on laptops for 1 2 3 4 5, I used to have that in Blender 2.7 all the time. I used to, I didn't want to use the numpad anymore. It's like, why I have to leave I have to drop my hand and use the numpad? No. So I use emulate numpad 1 2 3 for going in the views. However, in 2.8 we introduced Blender introduced the view pie menu, where you can basically just press tilde and then go into the views. So that saved my life. Basically, I can change with a pie menu all the views, and that was awesome. So I'd never used the emulate numpad anymore. So the problem with this, with the tilde, is that tilde is not on everybody's keyboard. It's only like this is a I'm using an English keyboard, which happens to have the tilde next to the set key, which is awesome. But many keyboards have it in other places or don't even have it anymore. So that is an issue. So if we could put that view menu somewhere else, for example, what about V for view? Like V, if you press V and then it opens that, it's still on the left side of the key map. We will have to move the rip option in edit mode, but V, for example, is on the left side, so you can use your left hand and you can move views without messing up the rest of the key map. What do you think? V is good. It's a great idea. Cool. So I use the tilde one all the time. Tilde is good, but V I think is better. Good. I think people kind of like it. What should I use with the heavy poly? Heavy poly has it like that. I should get Vaughn here in the live stream. Okay, people seem to like V. V is a okay. So if you use V, then you don't need the emulate numpad anymore because you don't need the top row keys. So, and if we don't use the collections, we could use it. Remember in the beginning times. By the way, did you see how fast this renders? I have here on my GPU and then run a render while I'm talking. So look at that, the speed of RTX. It's just insane. Anyway, do you remember in 2.8 beta or alpha, even at the beginning of 2.8 in like 2018, 2019, early 2018, 2019, I think, the keyboard map, we were changing keys, moving it around, testing things and all kinds of I even made a video. It's on the Blender developers YouTube channel where I was just testing the new Blender 2.8 alpha keys. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the numbers were assigned very briefly to change modes in Blender. This is very similar to what we see in the industry compatible key map, and I think it could work. Which graphics card? Oh, graphics card. My graphics card is a Quadro 4000 with 8 gigs and 2500 CUDA cores. So, and it's also RTX. So an RTX gives you this nice optics denoiser, which you can enable from here, from the viewport denoising drop down. So it's pretty nice. This is, by the way, this laptop is the one that that the guys from Box gave me when I lost mine, when my got stolen. So I will be forever thankful to Box for providing with this one, with this laptop. It's just amazing, and it's also very slim, and I feel almost guilty to use it as a desktop because it's this gets really hot. Sorry, I was going through the changes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think about that for changing modes? For example, it would mean that if you are in if you have a mesh, for example, if you press number 1, you will go into vertex mode. If you press number 2, you will go into edge select. Number 3 is gonna be face selection, and number 4 could go back into object mode. Number 5 for sculpt. Number 6 for basically all these modes, but in numbers. What do you think? We tried it back in the days because changing mode charged the RAM. I wonder, I'm too used to. No, I think tab should be for changing maybe tab should be the pie menu, so we still have access to the pie menu. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the modes. What are the advantages? The advantages are that the speed on which you change is going to be much faster, because right now, for example, if I'm in sculpt mode and I want to go into vertex edit mode, I have to do 2 steps. I have to go edit mode, and then I have to go to press 1 to go into vertex edit mode. If I am texture painting or vertex painting and I want to go into face select, I have to do 2 steps. I have to go tab and then 3, for example. So maybe that's a way to go. Is the industry standard that way? I don't know if it's industry standard, but it's very fast to change. I wonder if they pull options here. Oh, Bassam, how are ya? Bassam, the director of the first open movie project Elephant's Dream, is in the house. We need to do an interview at some point. Would be nice. I don't think there are polls here, or are there? I can have emojis, yes, but I can't have polls. That would be nice. Would be interesting to see what people think about this stuff. This is the most random episode of Blender Today ever, by the way. I don't know, 450 people in this randomness. I'm just ranting about stuff, people. I'm just asking you about little things that we could improve in the key map in Blender or in the user interface, for example. Another change that would be fun. Oh, I removed something. Another thing that would be interesting, for example, how do you set parent in Blender? You parent 2 objects with Control P, but P is actually free now that we don't have a game engine anymore. So it could be just P and then Alt P for unparent. Maybe that's a good way to go. The problem though is that if you have 2 meshes and you want to do, you press P for make vertex parent, which is the current Control P, we will have to change the separate, this shortcut. However, today the separate, we were talking about this earlier, and the separate doesn't have any sense to be in the P key, because separate is the opposite of joining. Joining in Blender is with Control J. So this could be Alt J, for example, to separate, right? So we could still go in a more consistency. We lose a little bit of alt memory. Oh, of alt memory. I was just reading alt in the chat. We lose a little bit of muscle memory, yes, but Alt J is like separate of J, which also doesn't make any sense that Control J joins. It should be just J, because J doesn't do anything. Maybe I'm just speaking out loud here. Then merging, for example, merge could have its own pie menu. We could have more pie menus, because in 2.8 we didn't have pie menus. In 2.7 officially we didn't have official pie menus shipping with Blender by default. So now that people are more used to pie menus and they have to use them for some things like changing the type of drawing, for example, maybe we could use a little bit of more. Changing all the keys again, the stuff with nightmares. No, 3D Illusions is not changing everything again. It's for consistency. It makes kind of sense, you know, that if you're using P for parenting, that we don't add a modifier when it doesn't make sense. Or if we separate, why is P for separate? It should be the opposite of joining, right? So it's a combination. I don't like the pie menu, says Milan. What's wrong with the pie menus? Blender is just a bag of add-ons. Depending who you ask, I don't use any add-ons except Node Wrangler and my own add-on. Pablo, you really screwed me up with the UV sim change you did. It's a change for it. Oh, by the way, the change that you made, that we made, it's that the Mark sim was duplicated, was actually 3 times. So it's in the UV menu for Mark sim, but also it was in the edge. So in the edge menu, you would have things that were, it's edge data still, but it's duplicated, it's twice. So you don't know, your muscle memory doesn't know exactly where to use it. In this case, the UV for mark seams is only used for UV unwrapping. Of course, you can use to delimit things. You can split things by seams, but that's not the correct use of a of the tool, right? You could like mark a seam and then use it for like maybe you could still have it in the edge context menu though, but not in the UV or not in the edge menu. Now I have to relearn. Let's see, still duplicated in the UV menu. What do you mean it's duplicated? It's here. It's mark seam. It's in the UV editor. Well, yeah, because in the UV editor you can do, that's not duplication. This is, if you're in the UV editor, it's fine to add UVs, I think. We have to jump over screen. It's not ergonomic. The pie menus is not ergonomic. It's the most ergonomic tool I've seen in a while. Pie menus are mostly for muscle memory. You only read them at first, Basam says. It's true. So what about other tools that could change in Blender, that could be improved? For mode switching, we said the tilde key, that should go away. The pie menus, using a little bit of more pie menus. I think with that we have most of them covered. Backspace, for example, is not used for deletion in Blender. It's not used for anything actually. You press backspace, nothing happens. Should it be also delete? Because some laptops have the delete in a modifier key. Maybe would that make sense? Still not sure. But yeah, those are the questions that are like in the air. Why all these changes? Why are we even thinking about these changes? Because it's a 2.9 gonna be in later this year, August, if we still have a planet around. The good thing about having a point release is that you can afford to make these changes. You can a lot of documentation is going to be updated, so those small changes could be part. Also because 2.83 is a long-term release, so people are going to use, could and will be using this version 2.83 for longer. So maybe that would be a good way of treating it. Let's see. How's the chat, especially for animation tools? Oh, we got a spammer. It might be a good time to do another UI revisit. Yes, UI. Well, the 2.80 and 2.90 release is a good candidate for UI changes, such as the modifier, this drag and drop of stuff, for example. Maybe improve the theme. What changes would you do to the theme in Blender? One of the changes that we want to do for a while, but we still don't agree. And I say we because I'm part of the UI team together with well, you know, it's William Reinisch, Julian Eisel, Campbell Barton, Hans. Now is working also in Hans Goody. Harley is also working in it. Brecht Van Lommel, of course. Pretty much a mix of developers and artists. Edit mode should be green. Why? Edit mode colors should match the colors that we see here in the outliner, because if you have the same colors for object mode and edit mode, it can be confusing. I think it makes it really confusing that in edit mode you can't really tell, especially if you have like objects that are fairly small, you wouldn't know what exactly are you looking at. Which mode are you in? I think it's better for memory. I think I don't have a theme. Maybe I saved it. No, I didn't save it. But yeah, that would be maybe a change. Basically, it's the same color that you would see here, that it would be for edit mode. So we can actually do it right now. It's fairly easy change. It didn't happen yet because it means the here in space. outliner edited object. Is it the one? No. Is in user interface icons, icon colors here, object data. So if we go to, we change the object data and we take and pick the object data color, 3D viewport, and we assign it to the edit mode of face selectors, for example, it would be something like this, but without dark alpha. So something like this. Maybe the hue has to be changed, and the color of the face and the edges and the vertices. Active vertex select. So I think with a little change in hue, this could be a good candidate for improving the way you see objects in edit mode and in object mode. What do you guys think? And girls and everybody in between. Of course, I just winged this one, but we should be better or more properly done. Maybe I think the hue has to be the same, but the brightness could be changed. So this way, you know when you are in each mode. You know when you're, oh, I'm in edit mode, I'm in object mode. Some tweaking has to be done, so it's more, so it has the same amount of contrast. That way you would make a connection between edit mode and object mode. Did you know that you can enter edit mode by clicking on the edit mode icon or mesh icon in the outliner? Looks like Maya. I don't know, I never use Maya. Okay, so apparently there are some changes here that are controversial, but some of them I think there might be a good improvement. What about the vignette color? This live stream turned out into a like user testing kind of a thing. What about you? What do you think about the vignette in the background? Shall we keep the vignette or not? I would like. Oh, by the way, before I get yelled at by everybody else, this doesn't mean anything. I'm just asking, just like hanging out with friends, and just like, hey, what you think about this? What you think about that? There are some changes that need to be, of course, discussed. Some of them are even technical. Some of them need more work. But just throwing it out there. I don't like the vignettes, says Marco. No vignettes. Makes the grid have worse contrast. Yeah, I'm not saying that the colors that I have here are actually the best. I didn't even, I think I was playing with it last live stream, and then I just set one color. But the thing that I like about the vignette personally is that it adds it adds contrast to the objects and the widget around the scene, around the viewport, as well as giving a bit more focus on the objects that are in here, that are in focus. I'm gonna open a real scene. For sculpting, you don't care about grids and such. Green and saturated red are good vignette colors. No. Poor contrast, bad. Yeah, no, I'm not saying poor contrast is not good. I think we all agree on that. But it could help to focus more on what we are saying, and it goes well with the fading infinite grid that we have. That is it possible to disable caps lock and make it free key for the open modifier in the key map? We actually thought about using caps lock in Blender in the past because it's a massive big key in like right in the left hand that is not used for anything. But maybe like it could be like edit mode, you know, like so you have the light on when you're in edit mode or so, that kind of things. But we in the end we decided not to because it's just too, like, if Blender complains about, if people complain about Blender not being very industry standard, if you give them a use for modifier key like caps lock, they're gonna go nuts. But yeah. So vignette is nice for sculpting, but not for modeling. How is modeling different from sculpting? It's the same. Let's see. Heresy. Caps lock is used to mess up password entry. Yes. The term industry standard is pure cancer. Yeah, I hate the term industry standard. Some industry standards are the worst, and still yet we have them. Some of them are great, and there's a reason why they are standard, but some of them are just standard because they're old and they don't leave any room for improvement and innovation, right? No other software has a 3D cursor, and I in the viewport, and I think that's a good example of how, hey, maybe that's a good, maybe that was a good decision that Ton had forever ago. All the softwares on Earth until a few years back, they were all working with like floating windows. Everybody was making like this ugly, like floating here and then floating here, and then everything was floating, and that's like the worst ever. Because here I have a theme that is not so thick, but in Windows you have like these big thick borders, and then over time people started to go into non-overlapping interfaces. Blender was doing it for years. So another good example, I think that was there was another software doing it before, and Blender got inspired from that, but that is a good example. Or like drawing the whole interface in OpenGL. Yes, it has its benefits and not, but I think it's a good way to go. Anyway, innovation, it's key with its limits, right? A lot of people have a very strong opinions against this app icon that Blender has in the past. They were like outrageously saying it was the worst decision ever and stuff, because people will not find out. It's like they just mouse over it. It's not too bad. It's not so bad. I think DaVinci Resolve has it here, and it's just, the first time I saw it, it was like, oh, that's a good idea. But anyway, it's just funny how this industry standard thing topic goes. Modifier drag and drop is in 2.9. Yes, that is one of the things that I can confirm. It's gonna be in Blender 2.9 is drag and dropping of modifiers and all other lists as like constraints, for example, or grease pencil modifiers. So yes, that is a great news that I still don't get to share because the developers are busy fixing bugs. What's the Blender icon means? The 3 rotated Ds. The Blender icon is an eye. It's a, there are many interpretations, but basically it was an eye. If you like, I think we talked about it not too long ago. Blender icon. Gee, I have this extension of ArtStation artwork as soon as, like, when you open a new tab. Sometimes you get good stuff. Sometimes you get things that better are not live streamed. Anyway, I think I mentioned this in the past. The Blender logo used to be this very interesting green version in the past. I can't find it here. Let's see, what else? You mean like Adobe old? Blender, Adobe. No, Adobe is not old. The thing is that Adobe and Autodesk and stuff, they're huge companies with, hey, by the way, this, take it from me, does not, my words are not the ones from my employer, but I think the big companies, and I'm not naming any company, but big companies have so many people using their software and people investing in it that it's hard to make a big change without having to keep maintaining both, right? One of the one that people are used to since 20 years, and one that maybe involves some like innovation, right? So Blender has this freedom because we have less user base, I guess, but also because you can keep using Blender 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 as long as you want. There is no limitations. There is no, you don't have to upgrade next year to the next version. So that means that we kind of get this freedom to say, okay, maybe in this version we're gonna change all the key map, but you can still use the previous one. Okay, it's for the, not just for the sake of changing it, but for the sake of improving. This is what happened in Blender 2.8. 2.9 is not gonna be such a big of a change. Don't worry, it's not gonna be like you don't have to relearn everything again. But some other changes could be, you know, could be part of it. That's the thing. If you don't like it, fork it, right? Yeah, fork it, but it's gonna be a lot of work to. You can fork it, of course, but you're gonna be a lot of work to keep it up, to keep it updated. What else? I really like the Hangout format, by the way. Do you? Thank you. I think it was fun. I think it's almost been an hour already. Wow. Yeah, I like the Hangout chat as well. I don't get to do this too often. Fork it. That's what B4Artist did. Yes, Blender B4Artist is this version of Blender that it's Blender basically, but they changed the interface and some shortcuts and stuff to make it more user friendly, which is great. I think it's a good way to go to test things, to try edge. Thing is that it gets hard to maintain over time, and Blender takes a lot of effort in supporting people, artists, and pretty much everybody in between. So it's a lot of investment. It's a lot of energy that you have to put into this. Muchos abrazos, Arturo. Oh yeah, we like linked materials, modifiers. By the way, for people that are speaking Spanish here, I'm gonna do the same live stream, but it's not gonna be the same because it's different. We're just chatting today over at the youtube.com/BlenderHoy YouTube channel, which is a Español versiones en español of this live stream. What else? Do you guys still update the 2.7 key map? Yes. Yes. How difficult would linked modifiers be? Tricky. Linked modifiers is there is no other kind of data that is linked between objects as far as I know. I think 2.9 is nice, but works the fans on my iMac considerably. Yes. What else? If visibility becomes a modifier in conjunction with the floating drop-down menu, we would probably have an easier tracking hidden objects. That's true. Yes. You have summoned the meaningless Adobe background process. Anyway, is there anything that I'm missing that we didn't talk about today? Any features? No, there was one feature. There is one feature that was added today. Like if we want to mention one feature, is an option in the. Oh no, actually it got removed. So never mind. It was actually reverted recently because it was breaking other things, but it was a change in the grease pencil objects where you can specify if you want to see the grid of the object in front or not. For the grid, but I think it's no longer there anymore. Let's see. Best channel to learn modeling. Best channel to learn modeling. If you are interested, by the way, have you been following the content of Blender Cloud recently or in the past? I think you can follow in Blender Dosh that underscore Cloud on Twitter. You're gonna find the latest character from the Settlers project. All this content again is free and open source for everybody. You can use it, you can try it, you can test it, you can sell it, you can do whatever, you can do anything. Just mention that you got it from the Blender Cloud so other people can get it as well. There's 3 characters that are ready now. There's 2 in version 2 now, and the latest one is Phileas. It's just crazy. I love it. What you doing about a haircut, Pablo? I'm not doing anything about a haircut. That's why I'm using a cap. It's embarrassing, I know. So my attempt at the quarantine haircut is to hide it with my favorite cartoon from when I was a kid, Rocko's Modern Life. My dream will be to meet someone that has worked in Rocko, on Rocko. It's Modern Life. Dramatic hair reveal. Make your bed, Pablo. That's not my bed. I don't sleep there. That's a couch. That is a little. It's not a couch. It's a couch that I have next to my window. But yeah, I have to make that a bit more tidy. That window leads to the outside world, and then you can find here some more work. No. Yeah, some stuff there in the background. All right, well, the new hair object update is looking neat, Pablo. Do you have a link? Style is okay given the circumstance. Yes, it's true. Rocko Rules, have you seen the reboot? Yes, I've seen it on Netflix. It's awesome. It's awesome. I loved it. So many references to old times. And actually, after watching the reboot of Rocko, Rocko reboot, maybe it's gonna show up like that. Yes, after looking this, I saw the episode before this one. It's actually available. It's on YouTube in Spanish at least, and you could see the pass. It's almost perfect, but I love this. Like the design. The design is just amazing. Buzzbox. It's everything is updated to like nowadays, and it's just crazy. I love that they kept the design shapes for everything. Everything is squinted and form, and wow, student loans. I haven't seen this one yet, but it's just futuristic, but still nowadays ish. It's just perfect. All the characters that you remember are there. Just amazing. Looks a lot like Grease Pencil. Yeah, I guess they are going digital with this. Would be nice to do Grease Pencil style with this. I should make some tests. I've been doing some tests with the Grease Pencil over my Instagram. If you wanna join, is in the 2D, and in the 2D I made some Two Stupid Dogs. You remember this one? I love it. Two Stupid Dogs. That's another cartoon from Cartoon Network back in the days. Just playing with a. It was just me playing with the Grease Pencil. This is Dexter's Lab, another great one from Cartoon Network. This is from Nickelodeon. Rocko's Modern Life. Do you remember this episode? It's about recycle. Of course. Then what else? Did I try something else? Oh, heavy paint. I was playing with heavy paint, and this is one I did recently. This is pure Grease Pencil actually, and it's a I was just playing with the here. Let's try. Maybe I have it still. No, I don't have it. I have this character. Yes. Maybe I don't have it. Yes, Calcifer. I was playing with a mix of Grease Pencil and actual just Eevee, because in Eevee, well, now it's calculating the shaders, doing some stuff, but I wanted to play with hiding some parts and having this volumetric thing in the middle, but still have it blink. And then I made a mistake here for a frame. I pushed it back because I was only looking from the front. But that was fun. So yeah, this is actually how it looks in real life. It's the animation I made it with by using a displacement, but also a subsurf. Then I displaced it, and then I was doing a remeshing, because why not? Because we have remesh now, so we should remesh all the things. Remesh is like the best thing ever. And the outliner, I have some objects that I use to control that. So basically I have like an empty where I move the fire, basically the position of the modifier that displays the mesh, and that's what gives it this effect. But I love this character too, from Miyazaki's Howl's Moving Castle, Studio Ghibli's. Yes, exactly. That's where I'm from. I just finished watching the film and I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta go watch it. So pretty neat. So I'm trying to do this, a little bit more of this lately, and it's been fun. Anyway, if you want to see more, I don't know, we should do this again sometime. It's been an hour. How it's been an hour. Llama Drama 3 is amazing. What is when is coming? And there's 4 coming. Oh, by the way, I uploaded a video here with a little I opened this file and I was playing with it in Eevee, which this file is not made for Eevee, but I was playing with it. And actually the snow, I really like how the snow keeps the effect for subsurface scattering. It makes the shadows so much more smooth than usually. So super nice. So Llama Drama 3 was amazing. When is coming on this 4 coming? I have no idea. I haven't, I don't know. I think I should first come with the, before asking the team, is like, hey guys, do you feel like making another film? I should come with a with concept art, with a pitch, with something else, and just like, we could make a film. I think it's only fair. That's how previous project happened. Like for example, Spring, for example, it's not like Andy said, hey, we want to make a film, and then they started thinking. It's just like it just was the other way around. It's like, okay, you come with an idea, then it happens. The same with other projects, just like the Daily Dweebs, for example. Anyway, it's been super fun. Is it for you? Was it for you as fun as it was for me? Like for me, the time passed by so fast. So for the rest of the stream, I'm just gonna look at the still frames from Rocco's Modern Life. Do you use NVIDIA or AMD? I use an NVIDIA because that's what my laptop came with. At the moment, it's an NVIDIA Quadro. I showed it before, previously in the show. So let's do it again. Yes, let's do it again sometime. Next week, actually, I don't have I won't have much more to talk about. So maybe I can get some people from the Summer of Code project. Maybe that would be a good thing to do. I still have to decide on that. I'm currently working on the release notes page for Blender 2.83. All right, that is all. Let's call it a day. Otherwise, it's gonna go on and go on and go on. Thank you everybody for staying until the end. It's been super fun to hang out, to talk about something else. I was saying like, okay, maybe this video is not gonna be so special, but if every video is special, the one that is not special, it's also special, right? So super fun. Bassam, do you want to be on the chat at some point? We have so much to talk about. It will be so much fun. Or like a rigging special or something like that. Really awesome. All right. Thank you for staying until the end. It's been amazing to have you, everybody here. 500 people, even though we were talking about nothing. You know, like a Seinfeld is a show about nothing. Today was a live stream about nothing. Let's do it again. Same place, same time next week for another episode of Blender Today Live. You know the drill. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you didn't know the drill, sorry, but I usually warn you about if you're wearing headphones that the music's gonna be a bit loud because it's epic. Look at it, listen. Doesn't get more epic than this. That's just amazing. All right. Bye bye. See you next week, same place and time. Ciao.